What's up, guys? It's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Pickdroppers, back at it again with an NFL preview video. Now, in this video, I'm going to be going over Week 3's games. Now, the first game I have on my list is Houston versus New England. Now, this game is actually going to be later tonight, and I feel like this is going to be a very good game. Now, for this week, I will not be going over the scores. I'm actually just going to be going over what I think is going to happen. And I think Houston's going to come out with the win this game because I have a feeling Brissett is going to be the starter. I feel like he's going to throw too many picks. And I feel like Houston's defense is definitely going to capitalize on his mistakes. And J.J. Watt's going to have a really good game. And DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a really good game. Even without Lamar Miller, I still think Houston is going to win this game. Now, the next game I have on this list is Washington versus the Giants. Now, I feel like this is going to be a close division rival game, and I feel like the Giants are going to win this game because of their passing game. I feel like Eli Manning's going to go for over 300 yards passing, and OBJ is going to have a really good game, and Washington's just not going to be able to respond with on offense to be able to handle the amount of points that the Giants are going to put up. Now, the next game is Arizona-Buffalo. Now, this is definitely going to be a very defensive game, and I think that Arizona is going to win this game. And I think Arizona is going to win by a lot. I feel like Arizona has way better offense and way better defense for Buffalo to handle. I feel like Buffalo's going to go to 0-3. I feel like Carson Palmer's just too much for Tyrod Taylor to handle. I feel like David Johnson's going to be too much for Buffalo's defense to handle. I feel like Fitz and both Browns are just going to go off in this game, and same as Michael Floyd. I feel like they're all going to go off, and Buffalo's not going to be able to score enough points to stay in this game. Now, the next game is Denver versus the Bengals. Now, this is a very good defensive game, very interesting game, and I feel like Denver is going to come out of the gate strong, get a lot of points on the board with C.J. Anderson and Demaryius Thomas, but I feel like the Bengals are going to come home with the win. With their home game, I feel like they're going to put up a lot of touchdowns. I feel like A.J. Green's going to have a breakout game, and I feel like Andy Dalton's going to throw for 400-plus yards, and I feel like the Bengals are going to go to 2-1, and Denver's offense isn't going to be able to put up enough points. Now, the next game I have is Detroit-Green Bay. Now, I think Green Bay is going to win this game, but I think it's going to be a very good game. I think Aaron Rodgers hasn't yet proven that he is still a great quarterback, and so I think he's going to prove it this game, and I think Eddie Lacy is going to have a really good game, especially since it's in Green Bay, and I feel like Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers are going to finally click, and I feel like Matthew Stafford's just not going to be able to get anything going against Green Bay. Now, the next game I have is Oakland, Tennessee. Now, I feel like Oakland's going to win this game because of Amari Cooper and Latavius Murray. And I feel like Derek Carr is also going to go off. And I feel like Marcus Mariota is not going to be able to score enough points, and he doesn't have the offensive weapons because his best wide receiver is Kendall Wright, and that's not enough for him to get the win. And I feel like DeMarco Murray's just not going to have a good game again. And I feel like Oakland's just going to put up way too many points. Now, the next game I have is Miami-Cleveland. Now, I feel like Miami's going to win this game because Cleveland has no star power on offense or on defense besides Joe Hayden. And I feel like Miami's just going to pass all over them. Jarvis Landry and Mike Wallace are just going to go for 100-plus yard games. And I feel like Cleveland's just not going to be able to stop Miami. And I feel like the only player that's going to have a good game on Cleveland is going to be Isaiah Crowell. Now, the next game I have is Minnesota-Carolina. Now, I feel like Carolina is going to win this game because Minnesota is without AP, and Sam Bradford, I feel like, is just going to throw too many bad throws. And I feel like Cam Newton's going to come out throwing a lot of good throws, and he's going to go for over 300 yards and over 100 yards rushing. And I feel like Kelvin Benjamin's going to have a really good game. And I feel like Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis are going to play a huge role in helping the Panthers win the game. And I feel like Minnesota won't be able to score any points on Carolina's defense. Now, the next game I have on this list is Jacksonville-Baltimore. Now, I feel like Jacksonville's going to win this game because I feel like TJ Yeldon's going to go off finally. I feel like Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns are going to have 75-yard plus games. I feel like Blake Bortles is going to have a great game. And I feel like Jacksonville's just going to have too many big gains on offense for Baltimore to handle. As you guys saw last week, Baltimore was losing 20-0 and before they could start scoring points. And I feel like they're going to go into a deep hole again, but they're not going to be able to get themselves out of that hole. And I feel like Justin Forsett isn't going to have a good enough game. And Joe Flacco's not going to have a good enough game for them to get the victory this week. Now, the next game I have is Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia. Now, I feel like Pittsburgh's going to win this game, and I feel like they're going to win because of Big Ben. I feel like he's going to have a really good game. I feel like Antonio Brown's going to come back with a 200-plus yard game. I feel like D'Angelo Williams is going to have a great game the week before Le'Veon comes back. And I feel like the Steelers' passing game is going to stop Philadelphia to under 20 points again for the third week in a row. And the Steelers have not allowed a team under 30 points or 20 points in 3 straight games since 2011. So that would be a big accomplishment for the Steelers defense. And in 2011, the Steelers had the best defense. So, and I feel like the Steelers are going to do it again. I feel like the Steelers are going to have a great offensive game and great defensive game. And I feel like Carson Wentz isn't going to be able to help Pittsburgh win. And I feel like Philadelphia just doesn't have enough star players. Their running game's weak. While Jordan Matthews is good at wide receiver, I don't think he'll be enough to bring Philadelphia the victory. Now, the next game I have is Seattle-San Francisco. Now, I feel like Seattle's going to win this game, but I think it's going to be another defensive game. I think Russell Wilson is going to have another bad game. And I feel like Tyler Lockett and Doug Baldwin are going to have a pretty good game. And they're going to help Seattle get maybe a touchdown or two. And Blaine Gabbert's going to have a pretty mediocre to bad game. And he just doesn't have enough weapons on offense. And his defense is very good with Antoine Bethea and Ahmad Brooks. He has a really good defense, but I don't think he has enough to win the game against Seattle, especially since it's in Seattle. Now, the next game I have on this list is Los Angeles-Tampa Bay. Now, I feel like Tampa Bay is going to win this game by a pretty big margin. I feel like Doug Martin and Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson are going to go off. I feel like Jameis Winston's going to have a very good game. And I think Todd Gurley's going to have another off game, and Case Keenum's just not enough for the Rams to win. I think they should be bringing Jared Goff back into the lineup if they really want to start winning some games. Even though they did win last week, I feel like they're going to lose this week and go 1-2. And I think that St. Louis just doesn't have the offense or the defense to stop Tampa Bay, especially on defense. Even though they do have Janoris Jenkins, I don't think they have a good number 2 to guard Vincent Jackson. Now, the next game I have is San Diego, Indianapolis. Now, this is definitely going to be an offensive game with Andrew Luck and Phillip Rivers both as the quarterbacks. Definitely, I see 300-plus yard passers in both games. Very bad cornerbacks on both sides of the field. Besides Vontae Davis. Vontae Davis is a pretty good cornerback. But besides that, pretty bad cornerbacks on the field. And I feel like San Diego's going to get the win, and I feel like Andrew Luck just isn't enough for the Colts to win. And I feel like Andrew Luck's going to throw a couple of key interceptions, and Frank Gore is just not going to be able to help in the run game to get the win. Now, the next game I have is Jets versus Kansas City. Now, I actually have the Jets winning this game. And I feel like the Jets just have a great defense. And I feel like Matt Forte is going to have a really good game. And Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall are going to have very good games. I feel like the Jets defense is just too much for Kansas City to handle. And after last week's debacle from Kansas City, I feel like the Jets are going to have a very good game. They're going to have the right mindset coming in. And I feel like Kansas City's just not going to have the right mindset to get the win. And I feel like Kansas City's not going to be able to win, especially with Alex Smith at quarterback. I don't think he's going to come in clutch. Now, the next game I have on the list is the Sunday night game, which is Chicago versus Dallas. Now, I feel like Dallas is going to win this game, and the reason I say that is because Dallas has a great quarterback in Dak Prescott, who's way better than Jay Cutler, and I feel like they have the better running back. And Dez Bryant, I feel like he's going to go for 100-plus yards. But I do think the Cowboys will have some trouble stopping Alshon Jeffrey, but the Bears will not be able to have the line to slow down, the offensive line to slow down Dallas's pass rush. And I feel like Dallas is just going to blitz all game. Chicago is not going to be able to stop them, and Chicago is just going to not get enough points to be able to win the game. Now, the next game I have on this list, and the last game I have on this list, is the Monday night game. I have Atlanta versus the Saints. Now, I feel like the Saints are going to win this game just because it's in New Orleans. And if it was in Atlanta, I would actually think Atlanta's going to win. I think they're going to split the season series. And I say I think New Orleans is going to win just because I feel like they have the better quarterback in this game. And I feel like both defenses are very suspect, and they don't have very good defenses at all. And I feel like both wide receivers, meaning Julio Jones and Willie Snead, are going to go off. And I feel like Marcus Colston's going to have a great game. And I feel like Devontae Freeman and Mark Ingram are going to have very good games. So I'm going down to the quarterback. And I feel like Drew Brees is just going to be better. And I feel like Drew Brees is going to win the game. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, and write a comment down below on what you would like to see next. It's your boy Pickdroppers, and I'm out. Peace.